Shout out to Relentless Game.
Yes, sir. You already know it. What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, Sirski. Hello, somebody. All right. So, man, you guys, we're back with some more Orlando Brown videos, bro. Very entertaining guy. Sometimes I think he's trolling. Sometimes I think he's telling the truth, you know. So today's video, it says Orlando Brown exposes a list of celebrities that were infected on the Epste Island. Now, it was so many celebrities out there, bro. Can you imagine all those celebrities, probably particularly carrying the STD disease or whatever, and messing with each other? Then the person that they're messing with other people. Then there's other, bro. They could be, that's like a, man, that shit could spread far, bro. And it been all kind of celebrities on Epstein Island. Bro, it been so many documents of the island's court case, bro. That's crazy. But we're going to jump straight into it, man. I'm going to hold you guys up. I got to drop at least 3 more videos today to catch up for past time. Comment, like, and subscribe, man.
3.5 million documents. Revealing
3.5 million
uses of power,
where women and children as young as 12 describe sex and
you gotta just be real cool, gotta be real evil with how you think. You know, people got smoked, people got kidnapped, a lot of people got off behind Hollywood, bro.
Wow.
And they're dwelling right there.
Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes, Terrence Howard, Usher.
They want to play with themselves. Oh, well, he's talking to code. No, I said I'm not giving my up. That's not a code.
Oh, man. He said there ain't no code.
Code to that. What I know and what I don't. I know what I know and I know what I don't. I can't tell you about what I don't know.
I've been in the public eye since 5. And, you know, before there was an Usher, there was an Orlando Brown. Before there was a Tiana Taylor, there was an Orlando Brown.
You're a legend. No denying that.
Before there was a Bow Wow, there was an Orlando Brown. Before there was a Sierra, there was an Orlando Brown.
For years, this man was the joke, the meme, the viral clip, the guy everyone forwarded to their group chat and laughed at. But Diddy is in a federal cell right now. The Epstein files are public, and the names are coming out of both. Some of them you're going to recognize. Orlando Brown said he was there before any of it made headlines, before anyone was arrested, before any of it was believable. He said it when nobody was listening. So now that people are finally paying attention, let's go through exactly what he saw and who he's naming.
I feel like a lot of people understand that, you know, you just got to be careful with what you play with when you're playing with the intelligence of a certain individual. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure you be careful, because normally where there's smoke, there's fire. Nobody's gonna keep on, you know, poking at the bear if there's nothing to poke at the bear with. You know, and back then I was poking at the bear, bro. Like, I was poking at the bear. Nobody was you know, caring. You know, everybody thought, oh, well, just stop posting and all this, you know. And now it's starting to make sense, because it's not about hiding anymore, and a lot of people have been hiding.
When Orlando says they thought he was crazy back then, he's talking about the...
He's absolutely right. Everybody, ever since he did this Cam Capone interview, and I ain't gonna hold you, bro, I even thought he was off of Schuylkill Rockers at one point in time. Because when on this interview right here, when he said Diddy gave me the ooskash, bagash, wagash, or whatever he said, it was funny as hell. But we also know what that means. And then sometimes he'll come back and retract the things that he said and be like, no, I don't never give up my manhood. I'm gonna keep my butt to myself and things like that. So now you like, you're trolling, you know?
Same interview.
Make it like the little boy that cried wolf.
The internet turned into memes. Back then, Diddy was untouchable, moving like a king of the industry with no real consequences in sight. At that time, nobody imagined federal agents would ever show up at Diddy's front door, let alone raid his homes on live TV. But HSI kicked in those gates in Los Angeles and Miami during a federal ST investigation. And suddenly those old crazy rants started feeling like early warnings.
Why wouldn't it work?
Hey, no. Hey.
The oosh gosh, whoosh wash.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Orlando's brilliant.
Right.
Yeah,
Y'all spent time with him.
we did.
He's highly intelligent.
Yes.
Imagine
Yeah.
what it's been like to wear this character for this long.
No, I can only.
That he does is a character. Actually, the that he does online is the best acting he does.
Is he speaking truth?
Of course he is.
You know?
Jaguar is spelling it out. The version of Orlando you saw crashing out online was a costume he put on to survive, not just a breakdown. That's coming from someone who's watched the industry up close for decades, and she's seen what happens to artists who try to speak plainly with no shield. If he showed up clean, calm, and laid out these same stories in a suit and tie, he wouldn't trend. He'd be a target. That chaos people joked about might
Facts.
actually be the thing that kept him alive long enough to tell this story on camera.
It's levels to this,
It's
bro.
levels, it's
Yeah,
levels.
it's definitely levels to this. So if you want me to act high, I'll act high. If you want me to act drunk, I'll be drunk. If you want me to say some Raven, I'll say some Raven. You know, it's now we're watching these interviews, and like I've said before, it's at a 1 hour and a half, and we're not turning this into a movie. Who needs to be fired? Who needs to be fired? We're watching these interviews at 100, like at 100 plus minutes. Is what I'm saying to you. And who needs to be fired for allowing me to keep sitting? What did they want to see? They label it whatever the they want to label it. That's why I don't care. They can label me whatever the they want to label me. You can't put me in a box. It's the Holy Spirit. By any means necessary, it's going to shine bright.
Okay.
By any
Okay.
means necessary.
I hear you, Orlando.
Set up, damn near almost killed every damn day. But it's how you maneuver it.
He's literally telling you there's a ranking system, and your mouth can only go as far as the people cutting the check will let it. You've probably noticed it yourself. Some celebrities get dragged for the smallest scandal, while others stay mysteriously untouched, even with years of whispers. Epstein operated the same way. Private jets, private island, private guest list, everything controlled, so only the right stories ever got out. In Diddy's case, it was mansions instead of islands. But the rules were the same. Hand-picked attendees, lockdown events, and recordings nobody expected the feds to ever come for.
What did they want to see? They label it whatever the they want to label it. That's why I don't care. They can label me whatever the they want to label me. You can't put me in a box. It's the by any means necessary, it's going to shine bright. By any means necessary. I'd have been arrested, set up, damn near almost killed every damn day. But it's how you maneuver it.
That is Orlando confessing that a lot of what we saw was deliberately staged to keep the right people calm and the wrong question off his back. But the second half is darker. He says after almost every interview, there was an attempt on his life, and he had to maneuver around it. Even if you can't verify every near miss he mentions, the pattern matches what you hear over and over from people who get too close to these circles. Fear, threats, and accidents that don't feel accidental. When you put that next to federal agents now seizing electronics, hard drives, and videos from Diddy's homes, you start to understand why someone like Orlando wouldn't feel safe just disappearing quietly.
They know what I'm capable of. They want to play with themselves. Oh, well, he's talking to code. No, I said I'm not giving my up. That's not a code.
That boy ain't crazy.
Code to that.
You say he's not crazy. I would say you damn sure do a great acting job, Orlando, bro. You do a damn good acting job, bro. To say you ain't act. I mean, to say you are acting, if that's the case. You had me fooled. I thought you was a fun boy. I really did, bro. I really did. But listening to this part, this interview right here, he said, if you want me to act crazy, I'll act crazy. If you want me to act gay, I'll act gay. If you want me to act like I'm drunk, I'll act drunk. If you want me to say some shit about Raven, I'll say some shit about Raven. He said they're going to title it whatever they want to title it already anyway.
I'm not bending on even no couches. Y'all ain't running up my phone.
Ain't no studio for me to go go get and be looking like somebody's funny. Get the out of here. None of that.
That isn't aimed at some random hater online. It's pointed straight at a tight little ecosystem of stars, bosses, and billionaires who've all shared the same air for a long time. We've all watched those photos roll out. Same red carpets, same luxury yachts, same VIP sections with no hint of what might be going on once the cameras went away. Even 50 Cent, who's made a whole second career out of clowning people online, has been openly taunting Diddy about these cases, reporting court documents, making jokes on raids, and implying this wasn't just bad luck, it was in the making for years. And Orlando is basically saying, if you were close to that circle, the jets, the islands, the mansions, the freak-offs, you didn't just risk your reputation, you risked coming back infected by whatever was really happening in those rooms. A few escaped and shut up, a few dug in even deeper, and then there are the ones like Orlando, dropping clues that certain familiar faces might have left those nights with more than just stories to tell. That's why, when the names start coming up, the singers, the actors, the comedians, you can't treat it like barbershop talk anymore. You have to hear it as pieces of a system that's leaking. Once the pattern is clear, every name he ties to that machine stops feeling random and starts feeling like one more piece of a map.
When you saw this lawsuit that made it seem as if perhaps Diddy and Meek Mill has...
I mean, to each their own, and why would they not have when they're gay rappers?
They.
Do you think Meek Mill's gay?
We all know he's gay.
Who's we?
Rick Ross knows he's gay.
I didn't know. It's news to me.
Everybody, Rick Ross knows.
You think Rick Ross would sign a gay rapper?
Rick Ross knows he's gay.
You hear how casually he drops those names? No buildup, no hesitation, just facts. That's not how you talk about strangers.
That's crazy.
These are men we've watched right next to Diddy for years. Same sections, same parties that didn't make it to your screen. And Meek already told at those parties himself. You remember that craziest thing I ever saw at a Diddy party stunt? He laughed when he said it, but the energy behind it wasn't funny. So when Orlando connects them straight to Diddy party activities, he's not inventing a relationship. He's just taking what everybody already saw and saying the quiet part out loud.
You call him Gusher?
I said Usher is a gusher. That's what I said. I said Usher is a gusher. It was nice.
I don't even want to know why you say
his whole thing is accusing everybody of being on some mystery Illuminati gay right?
So what? They shouldn't have showed me their coochie.
And then he says, Usher. That hits different because we all know Usher didn't just meet Diddy at some random party when he was grown. He lived under that man's roof when he was a kid, 13 years old, sent to New York to learn how this industry really...
I always had wanting to know. That part just don't sit well with me. 13 years old, your parents let you go stay with a strange man that has a record label. 13 years old. Miles and miles away from home, bro. I don't know I could have done it. 13. Stay with a total stranger who trying to...
Works. Usher himself told us those days with Puff were some of the hardest of his life. He said he saw things he had no business seeing at that age, things he still doesn't fully describe on camera. Now put that next to Orlando, calling him a gusher, saying the men the world sees as smooth R&B legends were doing whatever it took to stay in that circle. It's one thing to imagine grown men making bad decisions. It's another to realize how young some of them were when that door first opened.
When Diddy got locked up, Meek Mill came out saying that he'll pay somebody $100 grand to investigate that he has nothing to do with anything with Diddy.
Man, look, you can't take back what your received. That's just like the video that's coming out with him and Will. With Will Smith getting the Will Smith. You ain't heard the Will Smith footage?
Yeah.
Alright, Will Smith. Then they got the Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow?
Yeah, they got a lot, bro. It's a lot coming out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just keep it to you 1,000.
Then I saw projects.
This
that I
guy
when I
said
walked
Carl
in.
Winslow, though.
Walk in on.
Him and Dwayne.
Ain't Carl Winslow is the guy off Family Matters, bro? That's what crazy, bro. Orlando wild for that one, Carl Winslow.
Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game. So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, "Hey, you got eyes on Will. We need him to come watch this." So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, well, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So now I'm holding Dwayne down too. So I have the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie and they're calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. I'm like, yo, kind of down. Like, I'm trying to find this. Like, this is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him.
I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all that.
Then Orlando does something most people are scared to even joke about. He throws Will Smith in the mix. For years, Will and Diddy have floated in Tag's same cloud of rumors. Maybe you believe him, maybe you don't. But what's wild is how fast Will felt the need to address it. Maybe it sounds insane, until you remember that's exactly the kind of leverage Epstein built his whole life on. And you can't forget French Montana. Diddy in a white robe singing Happy Birthday like it's a love ballad, while French is sitting at the table, shirt off. Just him and the plates. At the time, everybody brushed it off like, oh, that's just Puff being extra again. Cute, memeable, nothing serious. Now with federal investigations, FO allegations, and lawsuits, that Calypso doesn't feel cute. It feels like a peek into a world where a lot of grown men had to act really comfortable with being owned.
What Kevin Hart did in order to be where he's at. Now, I don't know if it was Kevin that pissed him off. I don't know who it was that pissed him off. But I do understand that the comedy world is nothing to play with. And since, Richard Pryor left us, God rest his soul, it's more like, everybody's trying to be Richard Pryor. And I can't put myself in position to not understand why Kevin been pissing off a lot of people, comedically. You know what I'm saying? And I think that instead of trying to bash somebody that knows what they're talking about and bash somebody that has respect in the comedy world, I think that they need to look deeper into why is he letting this information go? Why is this information just now being released? Why, come on, why does his chain look bigger than any rappers that I've ever seen rap? Why, out of all the comedians, does he still have a $3 million mansion in Malibu? Why, out of every single comedian, does he still get picked on? But still looks like he's getting a check for nothing, just to sit on his couch, and everybody else look like, they're has-beens.
Kevin Hart might sound like a curveball here, but he's crossed paths with Diddy more than once, including hosting one of Diddy's infamous hotel parties back in 2010 at the London Hotel in New York. That invite-only event had each room filled with scantily clad women, bottles everywhere, and even a moment where a guest's hair caught on fire while she was sitting in a bathtub. The kind of chaotic scene people now look back on very differently in light of the current allegations.
At least she was in the water.
When footage of that party resurfaced recently, and Kevin was asked about it, he dodged and made it very clear he didn't want to be mixed up in any scandal, which only made more people curious about what he'd seen in those rooms.
He actually caught HIV, having a lot of women.
Oh yeah, let's just go down the rabbit hole of all of his sins.
I'm just saying.
You want to know what's wild about that though? He faced that head up.
He did.
And he didn't stop. And he didn't stop doing what he's done.
He an advocate. Now he did that. And
period. Listen to me. He faced that head up. How many dudes is running around undetectable, G,
Come on,
in the game?
man.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names, and wouldn't nobody be able to sue me.
Suddenly,
Wow.
freak offsides don't sound like wild stories. They sound like crime scenes where everybody walked out smiling for the cameras, but some of them never walked out clean.
If a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this is, because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile in your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They not seeing the victim. They not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute, and his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there, but you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of tool do you gotta be?
That's crazy.
To take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more. Because that's what do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids.
According to Jaguar, when Usher got tired of being Diddy's favorite, Justin slid into that spot, not by accident, on purpose, to take his place. If that's even halfway true, it means this wasn't just one powerful man preying on random people. It was a cycle. And this machine didn't stop at the fellas. Orlando and the streets have been whispering about the women too. J-Lo in the early days, Kim Porter before she died, and Cassie being pushed into things she later hinted at in court. With Kim, people are claiming her real autopsy reads like a warning label, saying she was positive before she passed. With Cassie, we already know she said Diddy made her do things with escorts she never wanted, for his entertainment, for control.
You have to be really in tune with life and just notice bone structure, skin, eye color, everything. You have to be in tune and you'll be able to see it. It'll manifest itself right in front of you, you know what I'm saying? But just for me to be sitting here and being like, nah, cause man, people done lost their families, bro. People done lost their kids and a lot of stuff done happened.
Do you think there needs to be more of a light shed on Hollywood? Or Holly Weird?
No.
Exposed more?
No. Don't nobody want to know what happened to them people's families and nobody need to know that ever. I know. That's all it needs. That's all it needs. I don't need to do that. That's not for me to be killed for that. That's real.
And here's the thing. YK Osiris actually outed himself when he talked about his own trauma of being a star in Hollywood.
This industry is not what you think it is. Don't let these people fool you, man. Before in this social media, I'm gonna give y'all a little background of me, man. Like, my life is not perfect, man. Don't think because I'm on Instagram showing this, showing that, I don't got a perfect life either. And I want you to understand that just because all these rappers show all this money and show all this fame, don't think their life is good. It's not. These people are always faking and let you know that this is not what y'all want. Do something that's low-key. Do something that can help you out other than being a target or a flashy. Because God can take this away from me real quick, and it's not a blessing from God. And I tell people that 24/7, this is the devil's game. It is not. This is not no God's game. This right here is for you to look up to me. This right here for you to look up to me. This right here is for you to look up to me. If I don't wear this, you don't look up to me. If rappers don't do what they do, you won't look up to them.
He sat there and told whoever was listening that this industry runs on something darker than talent and harder than hustle, and everybody rolled their eyes. But here's what's real. Epstein built his entire empire on the same principle. Starting in the late 1990s through the early 2000s, he wasn't just hosting parties, he was recruiting scientists, politicians, royals,
scientists,
all brought into the same rooms, all photographed, all recorded. The Miami Herald's 2018 expose called it a S-pyramid scheme, a network so deep it took 2 decades of FBI investigations before a single arrest was made.
Nigga, this shit is not right, man. So what the I'm living for? Like, why the I'm on this earth for? Like, why? Like, besides, why you haven't even? Like, why you haven't even? Like, this crash. Like, this do something that like, at this point, it's like, why the you on this earth still? Like, why you still? Why the you? Like, why the hell you on this earth? Why? When nobody with you, it's like, you don't have nobody. Like, what the are you?
Mental breakdown right now at this point seem like, dang.
I can't even see my kids. Like, what the I haven't made no music. I haven't made no money from music in like two and a half years.
From laughing on boy toy rumors to mental breakdown, that's what happened to people who get infected for nothing. No career, not hits, just hopelessness.
I've been in the public eye since 5. And, you know, before there was an Usher, there was an Orlando Brown. Before there was a Tiana Taylor, there was an Orlando Brown.
You're a legend. No denying that.
Before there was a Bow Wow, there was an Orlando Brown. Before there was a Sierra, there was an Orlando Brown.
You gotta just be real cool. You gotta be real evil with how you think. You know, people got smoked. People got kidnapped. A lot of people got off behind Hollywood, bro. And they're dwelling right there.
All these big celebrities, they all have the cigar in common. That's that big thing between their legs that they're sticking in. And it's one big society of it. Now, when it comes down to the selling of the, they're shipping and trafficking and people, adults, the moms, the dads, right there on Target commercials, right there on Walmart commercials. And you're looking at the people that are missing and they're smiling like they're happy, but they're going back to hell. And that's really what it is. You know, these are actually adults. Jeffrey Epstein created this saga, and this is what he is great at doing. He's great at kidnapping someone, turning them into a, putting them in a dead celebrity's body, and screwing the life out of them after he makes a ton of money off of them on his private little beach. So you have a private little beach full of celebrities and bodies getting screwed, and nobody cares because they're supposed to be dead. And this has been a major market that he tried to blame on Oprah Winfrey. So, yeah, that's what I feel about that.
And this is where Orlando connects the last dot. He's not just talking about Diddy, he's talking about the full architecture. The one Epstein helped design at the top, that filtered down through Hollywood and hip-hop, through private jets and island parties, through hotel suites and Jamaica vacations, all the way down to a Disney Channel kid who was too young and too small to say no to the right people. Chris Tucker flew on Epstein's jet. The flight logs confirm it. The deposition confirms it. He said he didn't know what Epstein was really doing, and maybe that's true. But Orlando's point isn't that Tucker is guilty. His point is that this thing had levels. Some people were architects, some were players, some were guests who looked the other way, and some were victims who had no choice at all. The machine is cracking, and the people who kept it running are running out of places to hide. The only question that must be answered is, if Orlando Brown was wrong, if he was just a crash-out child star with nothing real to say, then why does everything he described years ago line up almost perfectly with what federal prosecutors, civil lawsuits, and released federal files are now putting on the public record? If you like this video, hit that subscribe button.
Man, shout out to the Celebrity Glance channel, bro. This is a pretty long video, but pretty interesting. Very, very interesting, you guys. Everybody, just like with Kanye West, everybody thought Orlando was crazy. They thought Kanye was crazy. They thought Cat was crazy. But some of the same things these guys been saying to us. Nah, if y'all not like this, I am. I'm like, they been on to this shit a long time ago. But it's just the inner circle of people that's making us believe that there's something wrong with the ones that's exposing the truth. Wow.